In this video, I'm going to show you how to add and map your fields in Compass. So first things first, get logged in and make sure you're on the farm profile. Scroll your page down till you find your list of fields. If you don't have any, we're going to go ahead and add some. So add field. Now you'll notice there's only two red boxes of required information. One is field name and the other is planted acres. All the rest of these are optional, and most of this information can be controlled or modified through list management under the cogwheel. You can add your legal land description in and multiple quarters if it does crest over a few different boundaries. But we're going to add those planted acres in here. We're going to say 200 acres. And you can even add your unusable acres. So unplantable acres, because you do pay taxes on the entire piece of land. But the 200 that I put in here in planted acres is what's going to carry through Compass when I make a crop plan, soil sample, scout record, or do anything in contracts. Now, I'm just going to click Save Field. Compass is now saved and backed up those details, and now I can click View Map to begin mapping my field. You may get a pop-up on your screen that asks for Compass to be able to track your location. That is the web browser asking for access to allow Google Maps to be able to determine where you're located. Now all I have to do is move Google Maps over to find my field that I want to map. And once I found my field, I'm going to go over here to the Edit Field button. Now this is if I want to manually draw a map. Now I've got a few new tools appeared up at the top. The hand is my stop tool. It will stop any one of these other tools from functioning. I can add a marker, I can draw the shape, or if I want to do pivot acres, I do have a perfect circle drawing tool. For now, we're going to click on Draw Shape, and you'll notice my hand has now become a crosshairs. And now I can just simply drag and drop, point and click all of the points around that field to map those acres out. Don't worry if you're not exact, there are ways to modify that shape once we've got it added. There's our shape. If I want to modify or edit this a little bit, I'm just going to click inside of it till those white points appear on the outside. Notice I'm still in the edit option. Now I can grab any one of those little white points and I can actually drag it to move it around and make a bit of a different shape on the field. If I needed to cut something out of the middle of the field, maybe a grove of trees or a ditch that we don't want to have included in the acreage, I'm going to use the same drawing tool and now just cut out those acres in the middle. Now while I'm here, I can also go ahead and I can add points of interest or markers to the map. So we're going to come over here and I can add a general warning, helicopter, airplane landing, aerial obstruction, or even a field entrance. You even have a description box that you can type in a basic description about that item. Click Add, and now I've got an entrance. The other markers will add very similarly. If we had, say, something here that was a aerial obstruction, I can mark that out as well. Down below, you'll notice there are custom color coding options. You can select the color you want this map to be. You can even set up your own map legend by clicking Setup Color and identifying a color to either a crop type or whichever way you want to identify it. However, if you choose not to do this, let me save the field first. Compass will do its own crop view for you based on your active crop plans. So now that I've saved my shape, let's take a look over here. We said that was 200 acres for the field, but based on what I drew, including the excluded acres there, we're at 122.4 acres for that field. So I could go back to my main page and adjust my acreage to reflect correctly. But it also gives me an address for that lat and long for the field entrance I applied, as well as the bit of the description. Now, if I want to have this available as a map on my scout records or my soil samples, I'm going to want to click Field Snapshot. It essentially takes a picture of this field so that when I'm out scouting or collecting soil samples and I drop a geo-referenced point on the map, it will show right on this mapped field. Now, for those of you that already have your mapping done in the sprayer, in the seeder, in one of your pieces of machinery, we do have an import feature available so you don't have to use the manual Draw Your Map tool. And it works very simply by clicking Import Map, choosing your file format. If it's Esri shape file, it will be 3 separate file types that go together to make that map shape. So you would choose each individual file. Once you have all 3, click Import and your shape gets uploaded. GML and KML work similarly, but they are just a single file type to import. These 3 file types cover 99% of machinery out there and what they do for mapping. You also have the availability to export your maps if you want. These can be handy if you want to send it to an aerial applicator or maybe somebody who's never been to the field before. But since we added a field entrance, if we go back to that main field profile page, and we find that test field, there it is. Now you'll notice a new button, Route. Because we've added a field entrance, Route will let me open up in Google Maps from my currently detected location to that field entrance, driving, walking, transit directions, whichever way you want, and you can send them to your phone. Thank you for watching this video that's covered the basics of adding a field and mapping it to your Compass account.